and welcome to Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. I'm your host, Yo-Yo, and I welcome you this evening. And tonight we have something very good in store for you. But before we start, let's go with our Did You Know in Black History. Did you know Thomas L. Jennings, born January 1794 and died in February 1876, was an African American inventor, tradesman, entrepreneur from New York, New York. Hey, that's my home state. He was the first ever in history, first African American man, not the first person in history, but the first African American man to hold a patent. The first African American man to ever hold a patent. He was granted his patent in 1821 for what we know today as the dry cleaning. Yes, an African American man invented dry cleaning. I am excited about that. So that is your Did You Know in Black History. Well, tonight on the show, we have a special guest with us tonight. And her name is Valerie German. Hey, Miss Valerie.
Hello, everyone. How is
How are
everyone?
you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little tired, but I'm doing good.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Kind of
Thank
make
you for
sure.
being on the show tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. We are talking about women in our society, how we are affected in this society today, and how we have grown. Now, I'm not sure if everybody knows when the 19th Amendment was ratified and put into place, but it was in June of 1919 that the 19th Amendment came about. However, it was rectified in 1920 to take on the women's suffrage. Women protested to have voting rights. They protested to get wages. They protested to get a lot of things that we have today. And that's where your 19th Amendment comes from. Now, we know today that a lot of women, especially African American women, are undervalued and undertreated.
Yeah,
Is that a word? Yes, not treated as well.
not treated.
Right. Women earned 82.3% of what men earned in 2020. That's in 202 women only earned $891 weekly, while men earned $1,082 weekly. White women earn 79 cents for every $1, and African American women earn 63 cents for $1, and Latinos earned 55 cents for $1 compared to white men. Now this is crazy, right? Even though we see women more educated, getting their things on, getting our groove on, as we so say. Now, Miss Valley, have you ever felt as a woman that you've been overlooked for like a promotion or a job when you know you were qualified for this position, but a man got it, or they gave it to someone else and not you?
And yes, I have. It's sad to say, yes, I have. Where they think, you know, there was a position where because I was a single parent or a parent, not a single parent, but a parent in the military. And it was best that, well, you have to make sure they go to daycare and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm a superwoman.
Right,
So
right.
why shouldn't I, I know how to do the job just as good as the male individual. Why should I not be, sat in that position? Because he's able to go freely. He doesn't have to worry if he has to go pick up the kids at daycare. Well, I was a married woman. If I needed to do this job, I had a spouse at the time that can go pick up the kids for the daycare. Right. There was all kind of excuses. And it's sad that they see women are super women because we do everything.
Everything.
Mothers, doctors, and all that stuff. But yes, and it was sad to say. And then good old boy system, what could I do?
You know what? I'm starting to realize when it's the good old boy system,
It's the good old boy system.
You ain't gonna be able to get nothing. Nothing is gonna, It's funny that you said that because I remember one of a E7 had told I was in an engineer unit and it was maybe 7 to 8 females. Yeah. And he said the Army did not give you a family. So I said, what? I was like, what does that mean? Right? I still have children. I mean, you have kids, but like you said, men can come and go freely and do any and everything that they want to do, where the women has to cook, clean, work, and take care of a home.
Yeah.
Super women put an S on our back and call it a day. Exactly. However, I think that is just like crazy that they feel that we can do it all, but don't give us
the opportunity
to do it all, or to show. Well, I know, working with you, you could be there all hours of the night. Yeah, and they don't care. That's right. They just like, yeah, all right, whatever. But Joe Slow over here, he don't even have the qualifications, but he'll get the promotion.
He will get the promotion.
Crazy. Do you believe that women are not? I was watching. I'm gonna go back to that question. I was watching. It was a documentary, and it was a black woman who was actually a medical doctor, and she was on an airplane. A man passed out, wasn't breathing. The attendant said, "Was there a doctor on board?" And she said, "I am." The flight attendant was like, "No, ma'am, sit down. We need a doctor." And she kept saying, "I am a doctor."
I read that.
Now, why this man is still passed out, they're going to ask her, "Do you have your credentials?" First of all, who is walking around with a medical diploma on them?
Nobody.
On a flight.
No one.
So instead of them allowing this woman to take care of this man, finally, a white male came and said that he was a doctor, and she felt, she said she did a complaint and stuff. And I feel, even though she was a black woman, why couldn't she be a doctor? Like, how would you have felt in that situation?
Well, in that situation, I would definitely, I have to move aside. And since they're not going to let me render help, I will go ahead and let that male. But I would take it up with their airline later. Because this man could have died. And we wasting time getting him oxygen. Right. And I would have set it up later. But that's how it is sometimes. Still today, we're in 2021. Mm-hmm. And that's sad, that some people think, oh, well, I can do this. No, where's the male on board? Or where's the male in charge or whatever? I'm in charge.
Right. And that's where I believe that in society we're missing that link.
Still today.
Now we've come a long way, but we still have a ways to go.
We still do.
We still have a way to go. When you were younger, did you see or feel that your mother or grandmother worked hard and never got the acknowledgement that they deserve because they were women?
I'm glad you asked that question, Yomi. When I was growing up, my mother had a daycare center. My father worked with. She would make sure though that she cooked his meals. So when she wasn't in the daycare center, I remember going back home when I was in the military. Going back home, Mom and I shopping on what they call the Avenue in Philadelphia.
Right.
We're having a good time, and all of a sudden she says, "Oh Lord, look at the time." I'm like, okay. She said, "I have to go fix Horace food." I'm like, but we're having a good time shopping or whatever like that. And you mean tell me you're gonna run home and say you gotta fix his food? And I remember that to this day, and I just always said, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, you take care of the home, whatever like that, but she would stop if he's already home early. This is no kids in house. why he can't fix dinner. You know, that's what I would say. Why can't he fix dinner? And yes, they back in the day they were mother was a it was called LPN at the time instead
Right.
of LVN. In different positions or things, they would put her taking care of the people, and they would let the male LPN do some things that she they wouldn't let her do. And she was like, "What is the difference? We both have our credentials.
Right.
I'm a male and a female, and that's the key. You were a female, and the male's supposed to be the dominant. The male's supposed to do everything and lead the way. But today we can lead the way too. That's what I tell
But
we can lead the way.
You gotta fight tooth and nail for that.
Exactly. So yes, and then grandmother, um, she looked at just the women, the housemaker or the homemaker. Right. That's what she was labeled as, a homemaker. That's all you do is you take care of the home, make sure dinner ready, clothes washed, and whatever. And still growing up then, I would say that's not just her job. Y'all both use the clothes and eat the food. Why can't it? But then that was the woman's place to be a homemaker. And sometimes that's what you would hear. That is a woman's place to be the homemaker. And as it comes later, they say household technician. But I'm glad you said we are moving forward. We are doing things, but we're still not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're still not there yet.
I be reading and looking at stuff so much. But anyway, I was reading something, and we have a lot of women in high positions, right? Now, the CEO of CBS is an African American woman, but she doesn't get paid on the level as if it was the male that she took over for.
ABC or CBS.
She gets a nice substantial amount of money, but it's not as much as he. But she has the same qualifications. Right. I think that is so totally quick. Now, when you said something to me that really tripped me out, because I remember my grandmother was like that. And listen, my brothers, I love them dearly, but first of all, why they got to eat first? They got to fix their plates and stuff, even if they're not home. Fix their plate up and put it to the side. Then we fix our plate.
Exactly.
No, me. I was like, that is the dumbest thing. But I understand, like you say, taking care of your man. But why can't we take care of each other? Now, I do fix my father's plate. Right? When I was married, I fixed my husband's plate. I did it because I was taught that way. But my thing is, if I'm working like you, I'm not just sitting in the house and just cooking your meals and taking care of kids. I'm out here sometimes getting home later than you. Right. Why can't you fix a meal? Right. If you don't know how to cook, go order some pizza.
Go order something.
Right? I was talking to my father, and he's so, who are these men, these older men?
I told you, y'all need your own show.
I was asking him, I said, Daddy, well, what do you think about women's liberation and women? So maybe you could ask your husband, what do you think about, women in the workforce? And he said he doesn't mind women in the workforce. He doesn't mind that we have our own education, because we're outdoing education as far as he's concerned, right. Compared to men, because more women are going to school
than
men. But he says the home is lacking. I was like, what? What do you mean the home is lacking? He was like, the home is lacking, meaning women are not cooking and cleaning and doing things in the home with the kids anymore. I said, okay, so you want us to go out here, work from 9 to 5, 9 to 6, or however long we got to work, come home, cook, clean, help with homework, and still take care of y'all people. And as I just said this, take care of y'all in the bedroom too?
What do you say?
You crazy. We got. What do you think? What do you think your husband?
I really think a lot of men think that they were raised that way, that the mom took care of their dad, that the mom fixed their plates, that the mom did the kids' homework, that the mom did the laundry and everything. And I don't think they have any problem with some men sit right there and let her be superwoman, and then expect her to be pretty and take care of him. you know. But I still think like earlier things have changed. We have moved forward. I was listening when you said he said the home is lacking. In some instances, it may be lacking because sometimes women get tired.
Right.
You get tired. Went to work 8 to 10 hours, picked up the kids, maybe stopped and got something to eat, or maybe stopped at the store to come home and fix dinner. That was the role. That was the role most of us were shown and
Right.
taught. That's what you're supposed to do. But now we work now, but they want you to work and still come home and cook, come home and clean, make sure the laundry, make sure the kids are fed, and make sure the kids' homework is done. Yes, we are superwoman. Yes, they don't see it, but we do have an S on our chest. But I'm glad we have moved forward, and we have uh, in the White House. I was glad she wore pants that day. I really was. I know people probably say, "Why would you say that?" Because she could show that I can do just what Joe can do.
Right. I don't have to wear a skirt.
I don't think that's what she was saying, but I can do just what Joe can do. And I bet you some people thought she should have probably had on a dress because she's a lady. But no, I can do just he croaked today. I'm capable
I got it.
and able to take his job, or I wouldn't have taken his job. So I will ask my husband that question. I really would ask him. But when your father say the home is lacking, that's when I think he's right about the home is lacking sometimes when it comes to children, training the children up. But if I'm superwoman and I'm at work or getting things and you already at home, the husband's already home, then the husband can go over the homework. Go ahead and throw that load of laundry in the washer and dryer, because it's a partnership.
Right.
So it shouldn't all be on the women. Back in the day, it was.
Right.
But marriage is a partnership.
Dusty Banks said, yes, let's take care of each other. If I work,
that's right.
You need to help. I'm not a housewife. Right. We're in this together.
That's right.
Men want to be treated like a king, and but they are no longer breadwinners. They no longer work hard. My father and uncles work 2-3 jobs to take care of family. Women work also. And that's true. Like, and so we're going to get into that too, Dusty. But we're going to segue into that. We have when he said when my dad said that the home is lacking, I was thinking like when I was in the Army, I still did this, and when I got married, I said, but we get burnt out, and when we get burnt out, and we have a nervous breakdown, and we have a moment we don't want to do nothing, that's when I feel like, men, if you in the household, why you can't? You looking at us like why? And that's why I still believe that women have a lot of mental breaks in society because we don't have the help that we should get help, even within each other.
That's right. I agree with that. And then I'm really still thinking about what your dad said though, but the home is lacking. In some instances it is when the mom is tired.
Yes.
And she really doesn't spend that quality time with the kid. But that's where the husband should come in and spend the quality time.
I remember working when that whole thing happened on Fort Hood. They shut posts down. When the major shot up Fort Hood,
2009.
Yes, and we worked before it kicked off. Before they even had any kind of organization, I worked from. I got there at 7, didn't get off, 9, 10 o'clock at night?
About 9, 10, something when they released everybody.
My children were still in school. I was like, hey, can you do this? Can you, I couldn't leave. We still had to be there. And it's like,
yeah,
you have to, I was a single parent. I didn't have a husband in the household. However, I still felt that as women, I can honestly say I had a kind of a female support system that, can you get my girls? Can you, what I'm saying? Can you get them? I can't get home.
Right.
And that's where I think that we should, as a single parent, but when you have a man, listen, I don't expect my father to, to cook. First of all, he's not allowed in my kitchen to cook. Let's just maybe say that. And I'm gonna tell you why he's not allowed, because and I'm like, do you not see all this smoke in this house?
Oh, something was burning, huh?
Yes. So you can't cook no more in this house. But it was the, if I'm out and you're here,
mm-hmm.
I know school is different now than it was when he was in school.
Yeah.
Just if she could do it easy, just tell her, better yet, just can you order something and I'll be home.
Right.
And
right.
I'll help with the homework when I get there, or
help her
if you can, I
help
try.
her.
But I just always see that women nowadays, even a lot of women, like Angeline Fred.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love her dearly.
Yeah, she tell her like it is.
And I feel like men. I may get dogged for this. Men need to take care of their woman, right?
Yes.
Even though but my dad did say this, and I have to give him credit when he said this. Because Angeline said that to me one time. My dad said, even though I'm a man, my thing is to take care of my house. So my paycheck should always come to the house. And then I get an allowance. And then you pay whatever you need to pay. So I did ask him this. I said, well, what if she makes more money than you?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, okay, I still have to come up with, my portion of, he doesn't believe in split everything down the middle.
Right, right.
He doesn't believe in that.
Yeah.
And I said, well, these men nowadays showing up believe in that. They want to split everything down the middle. But that goes back to how the structure of the house used to be.
Right. Training. How they were raised and training. So I would say that the same with my husband now. I could make $1 million, but he's still going to make sure he take care of the household, the certain bills. He's still going to make sure.
Right.
And kind of sort of let me do what I want, but everybody doesn't agree with that. There's a new generation. I don't know if something was sprinkled out in the air, but there is a new generation. And sometimes I say, what is really going on? What is really going on?
I was looking at some of the comments of some stuff on Facebook, and it drives me crazy. And I just, no, we need to split everything down the middle. What?
Yeah.
What? Exactly. We should split it. We need to be split everything down the middle, but he should be at least taking. If I make more money, okay, let's for example, my house. If I make more money than my husband, I'm not married, y'all, so don't think that. If I was married and I made more money than him, okay, I'll pay the mortgage, because you may not be able to cover the mortgage, right? But everything else you should be able to. That means gas, groceries, electricity, cable, all that. You should be able to cover it, right?
That's right.
But as I see now, as you say, women feel that we should split, and women feel that in this generation, we should split everything down the middle.
Right.
I don't know where we lost our track. I don't know how we got to there, where we need to split our bills. No. Yeah. I don't, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. Y'all tell me.
I told my husband, I can help too, because, I make money. So I can help. But sometimes he said, okay, but then I think he rather make sure he handles everything. But it should, be a partnership. It should be, if I make more, let me put a little bit more in, because I have no problem with it. And a real man should not have a problem with it. But then I shouldn't say real man. I take that back. Some men shouldn't have a problem with it, because some men are raised that I take care of the household. I take care of my family.
Right.
That's my job. And my dad did it. His dad did it, and all that. But we're in a new generation where we say, hey, I can help too. And they should be happy that the woman say, I want to help too.
Brittany says she's okay with the 50-50. And
Okay,
Donna
Brittany.
Tillman said the man should take care of the household, and whatever the wife makes is a contribution. And Brittany
Exactly.
said, why is splitting wrong? It's a team thing. It is what works for y'all. I'm not knocking people who do the 50-50, right? Women, we're talking about women now because we're talking about how we've come up. But
Yeah.
I feel like you said earlier, this generation of men want women to take care of them. It is not, they don't feel like it's his job to take care of everything. And women are okay with that. I'm not taking care of a grown man. I take care of my daddy, but that's my dad.
Right. That's a certain situation. But I do feel a man should be able to take care of his household. I do feel it. He should be able to take care of his household. But it's nothing wrong with me contributing, me contributing. And it's hard sometimes. You got some men that I'm taking care of the whole household. And then you have some men that say, you make more money than me. Why don't you pay the bills or whatever?
Right.
So it's not traditional anymore.
Right.
It was a tradition, how you were trained, how you saw your parents, and then you teach your kids this how it should be.
I think
So,
when you women listen, if you have a man you're with, if you're not already married or if you're dating, this is something that y'all need to talk about. Y'all need to have this conversation with you. Now, Miss Valerie, do you teach your daughters to stand up for what is right as far as them being at work, school, in the society? Do you tell them to stand up for what they believe in and what, like, back in the day, women fought. When I say they fought for us to get to vote, to even to go to an election site and vote for what we wages and the president, the senators, the House of Representatives. A lot of women worked hard for that, and a lot of women didn't see weren't able to be alive to see that happen. Do you talk to your daughters and teach them to stand up what you feel or what they feel is right for society? And before you answer, the reason why I say that, I was talking to a young lady today, and she did not know. Women, I'm gonna put a little nugget in your ear. When you have a child and you're married, if your boyfriend, husband is with you, and you want to have a tubal ligation, the doctors have to ask his permission. When he can go to the doctor and say he wants a vasectomy, he will not get asked. The doctors don't have to ask the wife or the girlfriend, do you want him to get a vasectomy? But the men have to answer that question for the wives. To me, first of all, I done pushed out 2 kids. What you asking him for? You know what I'm saying? It's my body. That goes back to, and it's still where we still have that fight as women. Our body is our body, right? So go ahead. I'm sorry, Miss Valerie. I just had to go ahead and clear it up while I was on my head and my thought.
Well, yes, I do. I have 3 daughters. One is 30, one is 28, about to be 29. Well, I'll just say their ages this year: 31, 29, and 22.
Okay.
Those 3 young ladies, which I say one of them, the middle one, I say she is a junior Angela. I can't think of her whole name. The one that holds her fist up.
Okay, yeah.
I can't think of her name.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them, you stand up for what's right. You speak your mind, but speak your mind intelligently, and don't ever disrespect an elder. I say speak your mind, but do not ever disrespect an elder. They speak their mind. Oh my goodness, when it comes to different things that's going on in the world today, we have different sides opinion, but one of them remind me, you trained us, you raised us to not be a pushover,
right,
to speak what is right, what we stand for, and don't back down. Sometimes I kind of regret it because they don't. They really do. They speak their mind. Very proud of all 3 of them, but sometimes one of them I said, "Ooh, I should have never raised that way." She said, "That's how you raised me." As far as speaking my mind, making sure I get what's right. Like my one daughter, she has a job for the summer right now before she goes and finish her last year at college. She told them part-time, and they kept putting her on
full-time. I can't hear you. You went out.
Can you hear me?
I'm not sure
what happened.
Okay. What'd you say?
Yeah. I don't know if y'all can still hear me.
We can hear me.
Okay. So she was part-time, and they kept giving her like 30 hours, 34. And she was like, I have homework to do. I'm about to take the MCAT. And I told them I need time off. And they kept putting her on the schedule. So she said, I'm about to quit. I said, don't you ever quit nothing. Don't you ever quit anything. So I said, you go and you let them know. And if the one ahead of you don't know, you tell her you're going to go to the higher one. And so she called me today and she said, I did. And they said, okay, we sorry. We're going to fix it. So she said, I'm going to see. She said, because I'm, they had, then when she had said something, this is her second time saying something. They put her on an outside duty or whatever. I said, I guess you're being punished or whatever like that. But they speak their mind when it comes to politics or anything, any subject. They speak their mind and they stand their ground. Right, and that's one thing I raise: stand your ground. Stand your ground when it comes to things going on in the world. Stand your ground when it comes to a relationship. Yeah. The first thing when it comes to relationship, I tell them always, and I think you heard me say it, you be that apple on top of the tree. Yes. You don't ever be an apple where you can pick it or pick it up here. You be the apple on the top of the tree. You stand your ground, and somebody wants you or whatever like that, they have to work to get you. Yes. They're not just going to be easy or anything like that. But it's good to teach your children to stand their ground. Don't take no mess.
Angeline said we live in a world where you can't hear me?
I don't hear you at all. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know why you can't hear me. You went out first. And then you can't hear me, Lord. I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I don't know what happened.
You still
can't? I can't hear you at all.
Oh no! On Facebook, can y'all hear me?
I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening.
Put a thumbs up or something. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know what happened. Angeline put, ladies, we live in a world where I'm not
sure if you can hear me. I do see some of the comments.
I don't know what happened.
No, I'm not mute. I'm not sure what happened. Uh-oh.
Thank you, Renita.
Can y'all hear me? Mm-hmm. I can't see. I'm sorry.
No, now she can't see. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
Okay. I don't see you, but that's okay. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, I don't see you, but that's okay. We'll still get it done.
Angela said we live in a world where we no longer share bank accounts. It's my money, your money. She said put all the money in an account and we'll eliminate the issue. Ms. Tillman said, I commend you for teaching them to be vocal and speak up for themselves. I have 2 daughters and both are very vocal. And then, okay, Renita, you can hear us. Angeline also put, Val, we have to be open and honest. People should speak about how they feel because it's called dialogue, which it is. I'm opinionated, very opinionated, and will express how I feel, but people don't like it. But they speak how they feel, and I never complain. People want to be heard, but they don't want to listen. And that goes back to where we as women, I'm gonna exclude men because we're gonna get to them later. But we as women need to learn how to agree to disagree.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? We need to learn that it's okay. I may not agree with everything that you have to say, but I hear you and I'm listening to what you're saying. Yeah. I get it, but here's my opinion on it. We don't always have to agree on anything, and I feel that's with politics, parenthood, money, society. We don't have to agree, but we have to understand that we have to listen to each other. And as I tell my daughters, Now I have my youngest daughter is very shy and doesn't like confrontation. So she agree with everything. And I'd be like, no, baby, if you don't like something, you need to let these people know that you don't like it, because then they can do to you whatever you don't want them to do.
Right.
Honestly, she's not her mother, right? And I my mouth sometimes get a little feisty, but that goes back to, you're gonna respect me because I am a woman. I am a mother.
Yeah.
And I have feelings. And like I was telling you, like when we go to the doctors and all this other stuff, and even when I go to the doctor, I be like, but that don't sound right. That you telling me this and that, we know. Right. So as women, we have to teach our daughters that, one, education is the most important thing in your life. Right?
Exactly.
School is not for everybody. I'm not saying go to school for 100 years. No, school is not for everybody. However, get some kind of trade or something to where you can be on that playing field, because we are underpaid and overworked.
That's right.
Underpaid and overworked. Last week I worked 14 hours straight. From 7 in the morning to like 8. No, it was more than that. 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. Oh. And I had to tell, listen, I don't know what y'all got to do. Hire somebody else. You need to do. But I'm not doing this no more. I know there's people coming home from the hospitals. There's people transitioning. But I also have a family at home. They may be grown, but they still got to eat. They still depend on me, Right. So as women, we are so overlooked on a lot of things. And like you said with Kamala Harris, I applaud her. I applaud Stacey Abrams. What is the mayor of Atlanta? Lord, what is her name?
I can't think of her name.
I applaud these women because they stand for what is right? And even now within this country where we have voter suppression going on, women fought to stand in a line for how many hours they got to stand in there to vote. Why are we giving these people the power? And I have said this so many times. The power of the people, meaning us women too, are more powerful than the people in power.
Right.
If we women can stick together, do you know what we can accomplish?
Can do some amazing things.
Right.
Amazing things. It's funny you mentioned that, Yomi. I was talking to my daughter-in-law.
Hi, Miss Tillman.
The other day. But I was telling the other day about, I said, coming up, I told her from elementary to now, I said, this is sad. I said, I remember being in elementary school. I was friends with this young girl. I'll just make up names. I was friends with Jamie, and I was friends with Susie. But Susie and Jamie did not get along. But as a kid, I let them know, I'm both of y'all friends. And I'm not going to go to Susie and tell her what Jamie said, whatever like that. Y'all need to try to get it together. I remember that. Same thing in junior high. Same thing in high school. Same thing in college. I was telling her, I said, across the hall, we were the quad +1. I was the +1. But down the hall, we were from Philly and New Jersey, Central Jersey. And the ladies down the hall were from New York, East Orange, and all Rutherford and all that. So, but I was friends with everybody. That was just me. They couldn't stand each other, and I said, I'm not in y'all mess, And then in at work, same thing. And sad to say, at church.
Woo, girl, that's a whole nother topic.
Sad to say, but. And I'm like, and I'm still that person. I'm going to be in the middle. I'm not going to say nothing against this person. And I'm going to say, you said something against the person. I said, why we as women, I'm going to get to the point now. Right. Why we as women can't get along? Why?
You said that the other day.
Why are you afraid that she may get more than you? Learn from her so you can learn how to do it. That's my part. I just say why women can't get along, and that's why it baffles
hard.
me. Baffles me.
And and I said this a while ago. I don't know if you heard that segment when I said I thought that men, because you see men get in an argument, and 2 days later they still hanging out, right? They hanging out, they doing whatever. But women can have a disagreement and won't speak to you for years.
For years.
And you'd be like, we just had a disagreement. Like, really? Stop holding grudges. Talk things out. Keisha Bottoms, that's her name. That Angeline just told me, Keisha Bottoms.
Oh yeah, thank you, Angeline.
Thank you, Angie. We can always disagree. First of all, we are all different human beings, women.
Exactly.
And we all were raised differently, right? So why can't we just learn that it's okay to be different? Mm-hmm. It's okay to disagree as long as you're not being disrespectful.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with women. Look, I have 2 best friends. Honey, we argue. We may not talk to each other for a day or 2. If Renita's on here and I tell her, yeah, okay, well, I'll talk to you later and get off the phone. Right? I'm not going to talk to her the next day. Then I'm going to call her the next day and we're going to continue on. And she'll be like, you was mad. A little bit. Or I'll be like, I was mad or something. But I think we need to understand that we all are different. Even me and Andrew have had our differences. I love her still the same, and I'm always going to be here for her.
Yeah.
We're not always going to agree. We're different. Mm-hmm. Women are more powerful when we work together.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of Angie, we have never really had no disagreement, but Angie stands firm on what she means.
Yes.
And she's not going to let you persuade her, which is okay. Because how you say you can agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. And I have this opinion, or I might have this insight. She might have this. Man, let's put it together.
Yes.
And watch how powerful. When you and this person get together, we are powerful. Women are powerful. We are super women.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just scared she gonna get up that step or that steeple a little higher than you. So what? Help her up.
Push her up. We think we're still in high school. We have to grow one day, girl. I'm beyond high school. I've been out of high school 30 years.
Yeah, I've been out 41 years. I've been in high school. But I just,
and I think that because we are let's look at our government, right? We have people, and I don't know about wherever, but in Texas, they have put a law in the governor placed a law. It's called the heartbeat law. Mm. Now, I talked about this to this lady the other day. Mm. If I am raped, my dad, not even because he ain't never touched me. My father molests me. My uncle molests me, and I wind up pregnant. Why would you want to have that baby? Why would you want to put a child through that? Grown women have mental breakdowns when they are raped. Why do you want them to carry their rapist? Now, do I believe in abortion? No. But I do understand the right to give a woman her due justice. She can choose whether or not she can have an abortion. Even if it's caused the health of the mother is at jeopardy, right? The society still as women as their property. That's why we can't make as much as men. That's why we can't. I don't want to say grow because there's a lot of women doing. See, we had the first female vice president. Nobody would have ever thought that, right?
No,
nobody ever saw that coming. Even though they're giving her the business today. About something she said. Yeah. But, as you said before, she wears her pants. Shoot, she gets on the airplane and she has on Timberlands and some jeans.
Right.
She has some Converse and a hoodie. We're still women, right?
Still a woman.
Right. We still a women. We still have our downtime. She still has a husband. So my thing is we are ready. We're African American women and white women. We're fighting a battle with these men.
All these years.
All these years to get
today. Still today.
To get what we deserve or what we should get. but then we're fighting each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I sometimes just say it's sad and I shake my head. And you know, I like what is the gentleman in California said? Well, we can't all get along.
Right.
You know? I
Yeah.
just I just women here stand your ground, speak your mind, and continue, you know, to fight for what is right. Because today, you know, you still feel that a woman doesn't even have ownership of her own body, what she can do with it.
That's what Anthony said. It's a woman's body. Not no other person should make that choice for her. But that's the thing. Y'all have to understand the government still feels that women are property.
Right.
Even though we have the right to vote, we have the right to work, we have the right to spend money, they feel our bodies is still not our own.
And we still have ways to go.
We still have to fight for that.
Yeah.
We still have to fight for that right. Because at the end of the day, without us, there will be no America.
Without us.
No world of America. Because men ain't having no babies.
No, couldn't have one.
So, at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, instead of going backwards, we need to move forward. And we still have a long way to go.
Exactly.
You know, I was saying it statistically that I got off the internet about, you know, how much women make in 2020, 82.3%.
Still less.
We still can't make as much as men. And we work as hard. And is that, I think it's the CEO of CBS or is it NBC? One of them TV networks has a black lady, but her salary is not as much as the person she took over for. I'm still confused.
I think it's wrong. I don't understand it, but I mean, I know she wanted that job, and she's proven that she can do the job, and she's getting people to watch, come back. I don't know if they got a thing come back to NBC or whatever. More people are watching it, but she should be paid just as equal as ABC, CNN, and all the other TV stations. We still have a long ways to go because, like you said, the statistics say not only a black woman, women, period.
Women.
White women, Latino, Asian women are still making less than the average man.
We still make less, but white women make 79 cents on a dollar, and black women make 63 cents to a dollar, and Latinos make 55 cents to a dollar.
Yeah, that's something has to change.
Right. And we out here getting PhDs, master's degrees, and we can't come up a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But Anthony said we all can get along if people respect each other, which is true. Black people get upset with me because I want our community to do better. I have to be honest about what's going on in the black community. And I think I talked about that when I talked about colorism within our black community. We have a crab in a barrel type of mentality.
Pull
down when we should be uplifting each other. And that goes for women. Women, black, white, Latino, Asian, doesn't matter.
Right.
Will pull each other down instead of lifting your sister up.
Exactly.
I don't care what she has going on. Support them.
Yeah.
You know, I put on my post the other day, was it yesterday? That, you know, your family members and your friends will not support you, but your true supporter will be a stranger, and that shouldn't be. If you're my friend, I'm gonna support you. I may not buy all your jewelry,
right?
But I buy a piece here and a piece there. If you selling something or you got something going on, I'm gonna do my best to support you because I consider you an associate or a friend. I'm gonna support you. You got to go out here and make a speech or something. I'm gonna be right there clapping.
Yeah.
Even though it may not be good, I'm still gonna be clapping for you because I want you to succeed, right? But we don't get that. But if we go into the club, we all out for it.
But someone gonna leave somebody at the club too.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You know, I know they used to say when you go to the club, you all stay together. Yeah. Don't be leaving. But now they leave, and then sometimes they might end up being a statistic.
Yeah.
But going back to when you say we need to support each other, how you say, sis, let me straighten that crown up.
That's right.
Let me straighten that crown. Don't let her walk around with her crown crooked.
Let me put your head up a little bit.
Exactly. Exactly. If more women would do it. And it's nothing, Angeline, it's nothing wrong with telling the truth. I see some of her posts. I know she's not on the show, but I see some of her posts. It's the truth. Sometimes they say the truth hurts sometimes, but it's the truth. And we have to do better because your children are watching you. I know that that's going off the subject. I'm sorry, but you have to do better because children look up to you. Children imitate, or what's the other word?
Especially if you have girls.
Exactly. So I made sure, you probably know, Angeline or whoever, I made sure when I was a single parent that I instilled in them, I supported them, I pushed them, and I tell them, you are great. And I tell them, you are a queen. And I tell them, if the last word they'll remember that their mother said to them, I always say, do something great. No, I say, I love you and do something great. For years, I tell my children that. And still today, my oldest one always say, Mom, I said, yeah, do something great. She try to beat me to it. She does like to beat me to it. But I just, until they, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or you don't have to do that. Be great in whatever you do. And it's not saying doing great in grades or doing great there. If it's just to make somebody's day and make somebody smile, do something great.
Do something great, yeah.
So we have to push them and train them as young. And so they can, I can't say the word, it won't come out of my mouth, what they see. Not imitate.
Imitate.
Is it imitate or emulate? What they see. And we still learn from children. We learn, you learn, I learn, and we see what they did, like you say, come home, hurry up, fix dinner or whatever like that. Hey, I'm working later. I'm stopping here. Can you have dinner ready? What's wrong with that?
Right. We support each other.
They support each other. It's one time I was in a marriage enrichment class or something like that. And he said it's 100-100. And I just
can't hear you.
I said, Teddy Pendergrass said it was 50-50.
Hey, Teddy. Teddy too. No.
I did. I said, Teddy Pendergrass said 50-50 love. I learned and I thought about it. I said, you know what it is? I need to give 100%.
And he needs to give
100%.
Correct.
That's what it is. I learned that. I don't know what made me think of that, but I just thought about it. But we still have a long way to go.
I praise your motherhood. You did a great job. Them girls came first.
And yes, they did. Yes, they did. Thank you, Angela. Yes, they did. I had to make sure that they saw, and they'll never say, Uncle was over here. Uncle, have Uncle Johnny, and then 6 months later have Uncle Tom or whatever like that. I just wanted to ensure that they were able to see straight and see what being a lady is, being a mother is, what a mother is, and just try to, do good and fend for yourself. And sometimes you can push them too hard because that young one, my husband now, opens the door. And she was like, no, you don't have to open the door. I can open my own door. My mother told me to be strong and fend for myself. And I said, oh, my goodness, where did I go wrong? Because she had a little boyfriend, and he was trying to run to hurry up and open the door. She said, don't do that. And I told you that. I don't need nobody to open my door. I can open my own door.
You need your man to open your door.
And I just said,
when you sit down.
I said, where did I go wrong?
Open them doors. Ladies, listen, it's not wrong with a man opening the door for you.
A man should open the door.
With him opening your car door. And when you walk down the street, he's supposed to be closest to the street, not
That's
you.
Right, to protect you.
To protect you. He is your protector and your provider. That's where it is.
Now, I know.
Get in that stage. I don't need nobody open. Let them open them doors.
I know. I know. Now, I know some may say, okay, y'all just saying women need to be doing this and women need to be doing that. Yes, women are great and women can do things and women should pay. And I don't want to say but, because then they're going to say, but then you say but. A man should be raised like my little grandson. I say, open the door for your mother. Okay? He said, huh? I said, you go open the door for your mother. And you close the door and you hurry up and you go get ahead of her so you can open the door this way if she's going in the building. You have to train them train them
Yes.
young so they will know to do that, know to seat your chair down. No, you have to train them. Those are things not seeing. I want to say those are things that should not change from a man.
Right.
I really do.
I went on a y'all. So this is so funny. I went on a date. Yes, I went on a date, and he got in the car, and I stood outside.
I sure would.
And he was like, "What's wrong? You ain't gonna open my door?" He was like, "What? You ain't gonna open the door?" He went over. He didn't come out. He just pushed the door open. Child, I went right back in the house. I just went right back in the house. Never mind. I'm good.
Good for you.
See you later.
I applaud you.
What you're not gonna do is treat me like that.
Because that's already the way it's gonna be. I applaud you because that's
what it really wasn't a date, huh? Then it was just he came to the house and thought we was going on a date. Didn't happen. No, it wasn't a date. Because I'm not gonna get in the car and you can't open my door. Because once I get in the car, I'm gonna reach over and open the door for him.
Exactly.
So he could get in. How hard is that? It's a give and take. I don't know. That's just me, y'all.
Some things shouldn't change. Yes, we women want to move forward or whatever, but there are some things that shouldn't change. You open my door, you open the car door, you seat me down at the table, you sit there facing the entryway where you're sitting at a restaurant or whatever, so you can protect me or whatever like that. So some things that shouldn't change. I don't know if the men here will agree or disagree, but there are some things. That one little boy come tooting the horn.
Oh, I hate those.
That was already done.
The boy came to this door and ring the doorbell and ask for you. You can't go nowhere. He ain't gonna blow his horn or text you and take you outside. No.
Right. I say he's not even welcome. Gonna blow the horn at you. Who he think he blowing the horn at? So you still have to train.
Yes, open the door and ladies allow them to. This is a major issue out here in black men about black women. Open the door. Our men have not been taught how to be men.
And I agree with that. But that's why I said, and if you have grandchildren or whatever, like I noticed Elijah, I said, okay, somebody has to teach him. Mm-hmm. If it's not a man in that home, somebody. So I said, every time I think of something, I will teach her. I know that when he first met me, he probably said, "Oh my goodness, she gets on my nerves," because I would say how you eat at the table, how you cut your food, and different things like that. But he remembers. He remembered. And I said, in an area when you go in an area where it's not your house or somebody's house, you make sure you go back and inspect that area that you keep it just how you found. So you have to train.
Well, the reason why I say that is because my dad does that. And he won't, if we're at a gas station and I'm like, I'm going to pump the gas, he'll be like, he'll get out the car. If you don't get your old butt back, it'd be cold and rainy outside. I don't want him to, because he's my father and I know he has ailments. And I don't want him to be out in the cold or in the rain trying to pump gas. Yeah. So I'm like, Daddy, I got it. He was like, no, go get in the car. And I'd be like, Jesus, I don't want nobody to think I'm out here torturing my father. Because, he's elderly, but he would get out the car and pump the gas. He'll open the door. And I'd be like, Lord, Daddy.
It's instilled in him.
Get in the car. Get your butt in the car. But I just feel like these young men nowadays need to be taught that women, you have to. Maybe I was wrong, as Angeline said, to not should have not walked away. I should have told him, but it was the way he said it and the way he looked, and then when he just threw the door open, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Now, if he would have been like, if he would have got out the car and been like, what do you mean? And I would have told him, explained to him or whatever, but everything was just off. But that's just me. Angeline said we should not get upset. Y'all have to understand that some of these young men were not taught how to be men, so don't get upset. Just explain to them. Teach them what their parents didn't, but don't give up on them. Like some of us grow up poor and never went to a restaurant. I mean, yeah. I don't, I teach. I don't know these kids now. I don't know. I was just talking to you. No, I talked to somebody else. If I can take the generation now, they're I'm not taking no stuff attitude and put it with the generation, like my father's generation and kind of our generation, the workaholics, and put all that together. Do you know?
That's powerful.
Do you know what we can accomplish?
Powerful.
Right.
Powerful.
And we can just get them to mesh together.
Yeah.
But anyway, but Miss Valerie, I thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
I really enjoyed
the conversations.
I enjoyed it.
We have to talk more about women. Next week we're going to be talking about sisterhood. It ain't got to be with your real sister, but we're going to talk about this sisterhood thing because a lot of people say I'm my sister's keeper and not their sister's keeper. So
that's going to be an interesting conversation.
Yes.
I got to make sure I tune into that.
So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I thank you all for coming on and joining Yo-Yo and Miss Valerie tonight.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed myself. Thank y'all for your comments. And that's the thing about it. When we're talking to Miss Yo-Yo, she allow you to express your opinion. Your opinion may not be the same as hers, but that's the good thing about it. It's not a one-way conversation. So thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. And I am definitely going to ask my husband that question.
Ask him, Miss Valerie. Ask him.
I am going to ask
him. Let me know what you say, though.
Yeah, and I would love to hear you talk about, I know it's time to go, but I would love to hear you talk about the conversation that Miss Monique, I finally heard some of it, saying about the headband.
That was on my notes, too. Let me tell you something. Women, my girls do that, and I hate it. I cannot stand when they go out of here with them, I don't even know, Uggs, a bonnet, and pajama pants on. Come on now. As you say, as you told me, preparation. You want a man, you want a husband. You have to prepare yourself.
Exactly.
No man want their wife out there in no bonnet, in no pajama bottoms, a pajama shirt,
right,
and some slippers at the store.
It's not right.
Yeah. Now I walk to the mailbox with a bonnet on. I may put on some sweatpants and a hoodie and some sneakers, but I refuse to walk to the store with a bonnet on my head.
I just don't understand. I had a conversation with that young daughter, and she was like, well, Mom, if they're at the airport, they're going to go to sleep. They're going to have a long flight. So, and I was really shocked at the response she gave me because I wanted to see what she thought. And she was like, well, I don't blame them. They have a blanket or whatever. I said, Angel, but I said which child it was. They had on pajamas, and she said flip-flops. I saw one today, had on short pajamas, a bonnet, out. No, not out, but on a picture. I say go back to your training, but then some of these people are the grandmother or are the mother. It's just not the kids.
My grandmother, both of them, said, honey, you always, because my grandmother, both of them was in the hospital. They had their face made up and their hair done. Don't you dare go out that house representing me looking like that.
Exactly.
And it's a representation of not only me, but yourself and how you carry yourself.
Exactly.
I cannot stand it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going on no long flight. Like I went from here to Thailand dressed up. I had on some sweatpants and some slides, some cute little slides, but I had some slides. My hair was done, and I think I had some lip gloss on. But I'm asleep on that flight, so I had put a cover over my head. But why do you have to walk through the airport like that?
Carrying a blanket like it's a security blanket, and we got to do better, ladies, young ladies.
Yeah, Angeline said we got to get our daughters back on track. Monique is correct.
We have to. I totally agree with her. My daughter said, I wish somebody would come up to me that don't know me saying, little girl, you need to do better. She said, I wish somebody would. But I was shocked with that conversation. I would love to see, we have to come back to training our young ladies. Even if they're not my daughter, if she's not my daughter, but I would just kindly say it. I'm not going to belittle her. I'm going to say, right. When we go out.
Like if you was in the Army and you walked outside with your BDU, the top off, but just had your t-shirt and your BDU pants on, NCO gonna be like, oh no, put your top back on your head, get on your head.
Exactly.
You come out like that, the same, check yourself.
Exactly.
I did see a comment about that. Another star, her name is Tokyo Vanity, And she was like, what kind of mess is that? You don't know what that person is going through. She might be going to a funeral. She might not be in the right headspace. You right. I've been on the plane where I was crying and all this stuff. Now, my sister came down here when our brother got killed. She ain't had no bonnet on her head. She had on some jeans and sneakers and a t-shirt. But she still had on some mascara and some lip gloss. You still got to look presentable because you never know who you might meet. Who you may run into.
Exactly.
Yeah, you might meet your husband in the airport. And then he's going to look right past you because you look like that. That's just Yo-Yo's opinion. That's just my opinion, y'all. I'm just saying.
My opinion too.
That is something we are going to talk about.
That's a good
ladies, one. Thank you all for joining in tonight.
All right.
I will talk to you all later. Good night, Miss Valerie.
Good night. Love you. Bye-bye.